What's going on, everybody? It's Matt, aka the Lumberjack Landlord. Super excited to finally be here again. We have Emma fresh off the COVID DL. How are you, Emma?
Good. I'm well, great. Better now. Yeah.
I know we originally had this scheduled for 14 days ago, but then you were in the throes of dying of COVID. So yeah,
Wasn't fun. No,
yeah.
no,
No,
I'm
it's
better
fine.
now.
Better now, better now. She is healed. She is on the mend and ready to bless society with her presence again. So, so good to have you back. Appreciate it. So I know that it will definitely alter the numbers that you have for the end of the month, but we had talked in our last interview, we had talked about the fact that you were trying to get your money right, getting everything ready for buying your first house, following the Lumberjack Landlord Program 4321, because who doesn't want to be rich, right?
Definitely.
But we look at it and we say, okay, so when we had talked about it last month, we had talked about the fact that you thought you were probably around $1,000 a month is what you spent.
Yes.
So we are 15 days in, and based on that laughter, I can only guess that I'm closer to being right than you are closer to being right, because I guessed that you would come in between 2,000 and 3,000 a month, and you thought 1,000. And so we're 15 days into this amazing get your money right experiment. And so tell us, where are we at, Emma?
It's shocking.
Okay,
And I
okay.
feel terrible about it. So we're at $1,083.04 already.
Okay. All right.
Gone.
All right. And that basically, so you've already hit your month over your month number. You're 8% over your month number, and you're only 15 days in.
Yeah.
Okay. Now here's the thing. There's no mocking here. There's no mocking here in financial, situations. So what we're really looking at is understanding where we're at, what you did, kind of what the numbers are, and are you starting at all to see any sort of a trend in that 15 days? Is it just that you were just kind of really short on what you really spend, or is there something that's really kind of calling itself out where you're looking at, you're like, oh man, this is kind of a problem? Is there any trend that you're seeing kind of in what you've seen so far in numbers in your spreadsheet?
So I did have just I had car issues, but I guess every month you could have something equivalent to that amount of money you're spending.
Sure.
Coffees are pretty low on the list. So
Okay.
it's not bad.
Okay. All right. You're not,
Um,
it's not death by latte.
no,
Okay, perfect.
no. Gas is pretty consistent.
Okay. So is
And
it consistently higher than you thought?
yes.
Gas. Okay. So gas consistently higher than you thought. And so one of the things that a lot of people don't account for in kind of that normal budget that they have is they don't have any emergency money. So were there any things, you're smiling, so I know that that means that there was an emergency that came up. And so in that 15 days, there was an emergency that came up. How much was that emergency that came up?
It was definitely the car, and it was 300.
Okay. All right.
And I also forgot to pay some bills through my dad for
Gotcha.
2 months, 3 months. And then
Gotcha.
I paid all that, and that added a lot as
Yeah.
well,
Like another $100.
like 200.
$200. Okay. All right. So as we're looking at financial health, we recognize that, okay, you thought because there's a lot of hidden costs, right? But you had something come up that you didn't account for, $300 now in what you thought you normally spent. So when you get to the end of the month, we'll say, let's say I'm still going to be right. It's still going to be between 2,000 and 3,000 guaranteed.
Okay.
But when we get to that number, even if we minus that car, because that car expense, that might be an expense that you were counting on this month, but there will likely be something else. And so this is where the importance of emergency funds, this is where the importance of recognizing that you have to kind of budget for oh man, wasn't expecting that. But even of your budget that you thought it was of maybe $1,000, $300 that you weren't expecting hit you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, and the only thing you can do is pay for it. Right.
Right.
So you did that. And now that's got you at 1,083, 15 days in, which if we just double it, puts us at basically 2,200.
Oh my God.
So I'll be pretty close to right. But like I said, we're going to pass through that $2,000 mark. I don't think that's going to be much of an issue just because there are more bills to come in the month. You still have to pay rent, right? And there's still other items to be paid. So, so we're going to see that. So again, in this lesson of getting your money right, the most important thing is understanding what you spend. It's nothing bad or malicious or trying to, I really appreciate you making yourself available and being as transparent as you are, because yeah, you thought it was 1,000. I thought it would be 2 to 3. It looks like I'm going to be right, but just because I do this a lot more often, I talk to people about their finances all of the time, and everyone always underestimates. And no one can account for an emergency because it's an emergency, right? So I think you've done an awesome job. We're 15 days in, and we only have 15 days left. And so now if you had to recall your number, what would your new number be?
Probably, I don't want to, probably 2,000. I'm still sticking pretty low.
Okay, probably
Just 'cause I
2,000.
know, I rent and other bills due. So, and
Probably two. Okay.
being sick, you do a lot of online shopping. So.
But the good news is you're not going out to eat that often.
Exactly.
Right?
I have to make it up somewhere.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. Yeah. So it's definitely, so having COVID has pros and cons to it.
Yeah. I'm not out and about, but also not.
But Amazon comes to you. Perfect. Perfect. Any other things that you think about in the first 15 days that have you looked at that list and said, or learned anything about yourself already kind of in those first 15 days? Have anything that you've seen there in your head kind of triggered the thought for, okay, maybe there needs to be an adjustment here, adjustment there, or it's just, this is just a one-off?
I think finding different ways to have fun per se. A lot of this is me going out, even though let's say, a lot of it is paid for, I still end up paying money. So I guess when my friends are like, hey, let's get brunch every weekend, or let's do this, maybe switching that and being like, let's go for a hike and then I'll make breakfast, or, little tweaks like that.
They are little tweaks, but so I think that you're seeing too that, one of the things that you don't have to fix is that you have your job and then you also have all your side hustles. So one of the things that necessarily isn't the issue is the income side. That's an issue for very many people. It looks more like yours was on the expense side, but then when you understand those expenses and then can kind of curtail those, but then also be doing all your side hustles that you're doing, that's when the money really starts to stick and you really start to be able to put a lot of money away because you're willing to do the normal job. You're willing to do all the different side hustles. That's great. But if you have leakage, that's being spent in other places, the problem that you have is that you're never still going to catch up. And it's then more difficult to, kind of put that money away.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you're finding?
Yes. Yeah. Unfortunately, but yeah. I mean, it is eye-opening. 15 days in, it's eye-opening.
Well, you never would have guessed it. It's definitely given you some better habits, right? And some things where you're actually more actively looking at where you're spending money, but also looking at being able to replace that with, hey, that cost me $35 if I go out for brunch. However, it can cost me $5 if I'm part of, a few of my friends going out and grabbing a bunch of food and then cooking it at the house ourselves and then still having fun together.
Yeah.
Right. Nice. Cool. Well, as always, that's exactly the result that we're looking for, which is people getting to a level of financial awareness. We appreciate Emma being so nice as to share the numbers with us. We won't do the deep dive and go through every single line item.
I don't know. Maybe I need to be embarrassed. I don't know. Maybe that'll spurn my spending.
Well, considering embarrassing you on day 30, then I suppose that can be an option. But as always, we spend a ton of time putting this great content together for you. Emma, I'm so appreciative that you were willing to go through this exercise with us. I know that we still have 15 days left. 15 days left. Holy Toledo. So we still have 15 days left that we have to then account for that. Hopefully we'll see you come in at that $2,000 budget, albeit I will be shocked because there's no way I think you hit that. But it's not a you thing yet. It will be though.
All right.
So the good news is that we're 15 days into the experiment. Things are going pretty well. Just from a tracking perspective, it's already opened up your eyes on a number of different things. And now as you've gone through this, you've continued to pivot and make more adjustments and also help yourself cut some of those costs and recognize that there's need for things like an emergency fund and that sort of stuff, right?
Absolutely.
So that's all super helpful. And so everyone that's watching this, hopefully you guys subscribe or certainly hit the like button. Emma's doing a great job. Most people would not ever be this transparent. So I'm grateful for her for being this transparent. And we're super excited to do day 30. Oh
That makes
man.
one of us.
Hey, the good news is after day 30, then we make the plan to really understand, okay, this is how we then make some adjustments, make some moves. This is what the new spending budget is. This is what the new side hustles get to be, and the frequency of those. And then you can actually really start to put a goal together for how much money you want to save on a monthly basis. And then you get your track of, okay, then I'm 6 months away, I'm 12 months away, I'm 18 months away. If I just maintain this discipline and maintain these habits, I'm now only that far away. Has tracking the expenses on a daily basis actually made you more disciplined as you've gone through the process?
It actually has, it eliminates like smaller purchases, because I'm literally that, like, even though I have it on my phone, I'll be like, I don't want to open sheets and like scroll and then find the dollar sign and then like fight with it, like hit it 8 times. So like it has eliminated.
Like, is this really worth A, having to talk to the lumberjack about this, and B, is it really as important as it needs to be to actually then add this to the spreadsheet?
Then it's not. Yeah.
I mean, hey, if that's big enough motivation, I love it. It's fantastic. So we always try and create awesome content for you here on Lumberjack Landlord. Please subscribe, hit that like button. Emma certainly could use the encouragement because it's been a rough 15 days so far. And then 11:30 a.m. Eastern time, 11:30 a.m. Eastern time, 11:30 a.m. Eastern time this Sunday. It will not be a 5-hour live cast because that hurt after I finished that. But it will be a fun live cast. We'll have 11:30 a.m. Eastern time this coming Sunday. Look forward to all of your questions and what are always my answers, and a lot of fun on that call, because we like to get that dynamic thing going with people asking questions, then creating conversation, and then making it a discussion point. So Emma, thank you again very much for doing this, and look forward to our day 30 update shortly.
Thank you. See you then.
Awesome. Thanks, Emma.
Bye.